Good evening, America. I am Eric Little. It is the 7th day of January 2021. It is day 1449 of the Trump administration, leaving just 13 days left until the inauguration of Joe Biden. It has been 65 days since the election and 61 days since the election was called for Joe Biden. I'm near my home in Southern California this evening, and this is the plain truth. So today I intended to talk about what happened yesterday. I think it's been covered ad nauseum by the media. I don't think these people should be called protesters, rioters, insurrectionists. Any of that is fine. My original intention was to speak about that and what's going on with that. I'm not going to, because I think that I understand what Nancy Pelosi is trying to do. And she came out today and said, well, if you don't, invoke the 25th Amendment, then we're going to vote to impeach. Well, with 13 days left, they could vote to impeach because that could be carried over even after he's out of office. One good thing about impeachment is if you're impeached and convicted, you could never run again. So that would eliminate him from future considerations or 2024. So that would be a plus. Outside of that, I know there are people that want them to invoke the 25th Amendment. It's not realistic at this point. I'll tell you why. Because logistically, it can't really be done. In other words, Mike Pence and the cabinet could try to invoke the 25th Amendment. But Section 4 of the 25th Amendment says that you have to submit that in writing. And then he has a chance to submit in writing that, yes, he can. If he decides he can continue with his duties, then it goes to the House of Representatives, and they have 21 days in which to vote on that. He only has 13 days left, so realistically, he's not just going to leave because Mike Pence invokes the 25th Amendment. He's going to fight like hell to stay all the way through the rest of his term. So that's not really an option at 13 days left. They should have done this with like 50 days left. That might have been a realistic option. It's not a realistic option now with 13 days left. They could impeach him, which is the route that they probably should go, because they could just have a House floor and impeachment right now. They could do that by tomorrow and send it over to the Senate, and the Senate could vote in a couple of days. They could do that. Even if they didn't remove him from office, let's say they had the Senate vote on January 19th or the 20th in the morning, it would disqualify him from running again. Now, if I were a Republican, I would vote for this for the simple reason that there's one less person I got to run against in 2024. Because if he's running in 2024, he's going to take his core supporters with him. The mistake that these guys like Josh Hawley are making is they think if they suck up to Trump, Trump will tell his supporters to vote for him. He's not going to do that. And to build enough support to become president, you have to build your own coalition. And these people that think Trump is just going to hand him all his supporters is sadly mistaken. They want to run as Trump-light, like all the Trump policies without the Trump foolishness. The problem is the Trump policies are horrible too. I think, as a black man, it's very hard to reconcile the idea that 74 million people voted for Donald Trump, nearly half the population. I know technically he got 49.1% of the vote, 48.9%, whatever it was, but realistically, about half the country voted for him. And this is what I think. I've said this before, that people voted for him in 2016, I may be able to give a pass to, because they didn't know he was a celebrity. He had a TV show, you're fired and all that. They were enthralled. Plus, he was running as an outsider, and I'm sick of Washington. I'm sick of Democrats and Republicans. We need an outsider, somebody run the country as a business. They were fooled by that. Okay. But for the people who voted for him in 2020, after seeing everything that happened over the last 4 years, our standing in the world wrecked, him siding with officers who shoot unarmed black people, all that kind of stuff. I can't get around that. I can't reconcile that. I know we're supposed to be trying to come together as a nation. And normally, I'm a Democrat, but Republicans have won. Bush has won, and I said, okay, he won. I didn't like it, but let's get on with our lives. The reason why this is different is because he was so horrible. And, to think that half the country wanted to do 4 more years of that. Now, when I go to the store, or I go to Walmart or Target or 7-Eleven or supermarket or the movies or gas station, as a black man, I have to think every other person I see out here agrees with him. How do I reconcile that? If I get pulled over by a cop, half the cops agree with him. Half the judges agree with him. If I get COVID or I get in an accident, I get a broken leg or I need surgery, I have a heart attack, half of the doctors agree with this man who thinks it's okay for a cop to shoot me and suffer no consequences, even if I'm not doing anything wrong, and that's okay. Half of the doctors agree with him. Who do I see about that? People say to us all the time, well, you have to learn to talk to people, and as a black man, you're still lucky to live in the United States. That may be true, but it doesn't feel like that today. And that is the plain truth, as I see it. And I am Eric Little. Good night.